Welcome to More to the Story. Today we are sitting down with Dr. Stephen Meyer, and we're talking about how he would talk to parents about where kids are at, talking about evolution.
So Stephen, many parents want to know how they can help their kids navigate and engage with all the information that they're hearing about the theory of evolution. What general advice would you give to them and how they can walk through that process with their kids?
Thanks for asking. We've actually developed a supplemental curriculum that takes advantage of what are called academic freedom standards for state boards of education or at state legislatures. And a number of states have tried to protect teachers who want to teach, for example, the strengths and weaknesses of Darwinian theory, not just Darwin's theory and the full-orbed sort of affirming Alleluia chorus for it that you sometimes get in textbooks. And so our approach is to teach students the basics of Darwinian theory. They need to know that. And to teach them the evidence and arguments that have been marshaled from Darwin's time to the present in favor of the theory. And then alongside that, also teach them the criticisms of the theory, the scientific criticisms of the theory, as you find them in the peer-reviewed scientific literature. Many people don't know that contemporary evolutionary biologists today are actually questioning the standard contemporary theory of Darwinism called neo-Darwinism. I attended a conference in 2016 put on by the Royal Society of London, one of perhaps the oldest scientific society in the world, that was convened by a group of evolutionary biologists who are calling for a new theory of evolution because they doubt the creative power of Darwin's natural selection random mutation mechanism. And so there's plenty of intellectual ferment out there. Our biology textbooks generally do not report that. And so what we've tried to do is supplement those biology textbooks with an explanation of Darwinian theory, the arguments for it, but also the evidence and arguments against it, so that students can weigh the competing arguments and the competing evaluations of evidence and come to a conclusion on their own. Now, in addition, we think there's a very strong positive argument for intelligent design. In the public schools, the legal status of that is yet to be clarified. There was a court case in Dover, Pennsylvania in 2005, but it ruled against the school board that wanted to introduce students to a book about intelligent design in the school library. The case was badly mishandled for various reasons, but it only has the ruling only has jurisdiction over one part of central Pennsylvania. So nationally, it's not clear what the court would rule about a teacher teaching about the theory of intelligent design in a biology class. We've encouraged teachers not to press that issue at this point. It just creates legal battles that are distracting, for example, the network of scientists advancing the theory of intelligent design from winning the argument at the highest level of academia. But there are plenty of supplemental materials that people can use to share with their own kids. We have a textbook a couple textbooks advancing intelligent design. We've got tons of videos, our Science Uprising series. So the main advice I'd give to parents is make sure that students know kind of all sides of this issue and provide them with resources and information that will allow them to hear the side of the side of the argument that they never hear in school. Because we think the evidence, first of all, against the full-blown macroevolutionary aspect of Darwin's theory, the idea that mutation and selection are responsible for major innovations in the history of life. We think that's very dubitable. There's lots of evidence against that. And we think there's also a very strong case for intelligent design, and that if students are exposed to that, the evidence will speak for itself. But they need to know both sides of the argument, so that when they go off to college, they're not blindsided by professors who are teaching about Darwinism and this in such a way that leaves the students feeling like, well, why didn't I ever hear about this? You know, they were keeping this from me. Have intellectual confidence. The facts will speak for themselves.